the braids of her hair. And Rupa Goswami gave him the pages and said, well, you, whatever analogy you think is more appropriate, you write. So he was thinking about it. And he was at a place called Govinda Ghat. And he saw some really sweet little girls bathing in Govinda Ghat. And they were laughing, and they were smiling, and they were talking all things little girls talk. And suddenly he saw a black snake right behind one of these little girls, about to attack them. And Sanatana Goswami started screaming out, little girls, there's a snake behind you, move, go somewhere. And the little girls were just playing and smiling, and they just not even paying attention to what he was saying. And he was so worried about these little girls, he jumped in the water and was going to get that snake to protect them. And suddenly the snake disappeared, and the girls looked at him and laughed and smiled, and then they disappeared. So he went back to Rupa Goswami and said, your example is perfect. Another time, Rupa Goswami, who considered Sanatana Goswami his guru, he wanted to make some nice kheer for him. Sweet rice. Sadhus call param anna, the supreme food. But he didn't have anything. He was doing madhukari, and this beautiful little girl came with some rice and milk and said, here, Swamiji, give this to your brother. So as they were eating it, it was so full of nectar. Just by tasting it, their hearts were flooding over with ecstatic prema. Just by eating some kheer. Sanatana Goswami said, where did you get this? He said, a little girl gave it to me. And Sanatana Goswami said, well, who's this little girl? And he described, and Sanatana Goswami said, Srimati Radharani appeared. How could you accept service from Srimati Radharani? We are eternally the servant of the servant of the servant of Sri Radhika. And you have accepted service from her. He was chastising Rupa Goswami. But as he was chastising, he kept eating the kheer. And he kept crying in ecstasy and chanting the holy names. And Rupa Goswami was feeling so bad that I accepted service from Radharani. But at the same time, he kept drinking the kheer and the ecstasy. But this is a very, very important message. Practically the whole world worships the Supreme Lord, asking for favors. Give me money, give me health, give me good wife, give me obedient children, give me power, help me conquer my competitors, or give me liberation from suffering. But the standard of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taught by the Goswamis. Is we don't want to take anything from Krishna. Krishna, how can I please you? How can I serve you? One time, Sanatana Goswami was on the banks of Pavan Sarovar. And he was in the sun. This is at Nandagaon. And a little cowherd boy came up to him and said, it's breaking my heart to see you suffer the way you live. You're sleeping on the hard ground every night. You're under different trees every day. You're in the hot sun. You're in the cold winters. It's breaking my heart to see you like this. Please build a little house, bhajan kutir, for yourself. And that will make me so happy and relieved. And he gave Sanatana Goswami some nice milk and prasad. And then the little cowherd boy left. And afterward, Sanatana Goswami understood that was Krishna. Krishna disguised himself and I didn't even recognize. But now I know. He realized that. And I'm hurting Krishna by living out in the open like this. So for Krishna's pleasure, on the banks of Pavan Sarovar, he built a nice little simple bhajan kutir to live in. So even this was the standard of the 6 Goswamis. Not Krishna, what will you do for me? Krishna, what can I do for you? The gopis only want to be beautiful because Krishna will be pleased. In Vrindavan, all the Brijabasis, whatever they do, whatever they say, is simply for Krishna's pleasure. And Krishna's pleased when we give pleasure to those he loves, the devotees. Krishna's pleased when we show compassion for the fallen souls in this material world. So it's that selfless spirit of service that is revealed in such depth in this simple little story of Sanatana Goswami drinking sweet rice. Sanatan was living on the banks of Manasi Ganga, near Chakaleshwar Mahadev, and he was writing so many of his books, his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, and other such literatures. And he wasn't sleeping at night more than an hour and a half. He was doing seva, chanting, hearing, praying, writing, meditating. And at one time, the mosquitoes were so ferocious, it was distracting him. So for his service, he decided the next day he would leave that place. But Mahadev, Lord Shiva, who was so attached to the association of Sanatana Goswami, appeared as a Brahmin and said, Sanatana, it appears that you're going somewhere. And he said, yes, too many mosquitoes. He said, just stay one more night, no more mosquitoes, just stay. So Sanatana, just to please this person, he stayed. And meanwhile, Mahadev, he called upon the demigod who rules over all mosquitoes. And he told him, Manasi Ganga, protect Sanatana Goswami. And that night, miraculously, there wasn't a single mosquito. So Sanatana Goswami remained there. And in the very elder years of his life, he spent much time in his bhajan kutir near Govardhan Hill. And every day he would do parikrama. There's the parikrama that most of us do, which is about 12 miles, 14 miles. And then there's the larger parikrama that goes Chandra Sarovar and all of those places, Paita. That's about 24 miles. He would do that every day, along with all of his other services. And when he was very old, it was very difficult, but still he was doing. And one day a little cowherd boy came to him. He was Krishna. And he said, Sanatana, it breaks my heart to see you doing this parikrama every day. You don't have to do it. You're old. And Sanatana Goswami said, no, this is my rule. This is my regulated life. And the little boy climbed to the top of Govardhan Hill. and brought down a Govardhan Shila. And that little boy brought the Shila with his own hands to Sanatana Goswami's Bhajan Kutir. And Sanatana Goswami looked, and in that stone was Krishna's footprint. And the footprints of Krishna's cows and calves, and even Krishna's little cowherd stick. And the little boy said, "You circumambulate this Govardhan Shila, and I will accept you have done the entire Govardhan Parikrama." That was Krishna. For Krishna's satisfaction, Sanatana Goswami performed his Govardhan Parikrama in that simple way. He would circle it 7 times. And on Guru Purnima, one year, when everyone would come, the Brijvasis, to worship Sanatana Goswami, they found he was sitting in his bhajan. He looked like he was in deep samadhi, and they waited. But then they realized that his soul had departed from his physical form. All the Goswamis of Vrindavan, all the Brijavasis, they all came. The entire Braj Bhumi was submerged in love and separation. Their guru, their friend, their brother, their father, he had left. There was a glorious celebration. And in honor of Sanatana Goswami on Guru Purnima, everyone would even to this day, of all days of the year, so many people come to do the parikrama of Govardhan Hill on Guru Purnima in honor of Sanatana Goswami. So we will continue the parikrama. In Manasi Ganga, Jiva Goswami describes in Gopal Champu the boat pastimes that Krishna would have with gopis. Because Manasi Ganga was a very large lake at that time, and the gopis would come, and in order for them to return to their homes, they would have to cross the lake, and Krishna would arrange only one boatman, and that was him in disguise. And the sweetness, the love, the humor of these wonderful pastimes that Krishna and Sri Radha and the gopis would have on the boat completely enchant the heart. The day after tomorrow, you will all be doing the Govardhan Parikrama. And tomorrow is the disappearance day of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So I want to end a little early tonight so that we could all be very well rested and full of enthusiasm, gratitude, and devotion for tomorrow. I believe Shyamananda Prabhu will give announcements after Damodarastakam, explaining what the program will be. There will be cooking a glorious feast for Srila Prabhupada, which I think perhaps all of you are invited to help. And then there'll be wonderful heartfelt offerings. There will be the Guru Puja for Srila Prabhupada in the early afternoon, and then a feast in his honor. And then in the evening, there will be a very special program. Perhaps several of Srila Prabhupada's very intimate, beloved disciples will speak about their remembrances, their appreciations of Srila Prabhupada. And this day is very important for us. Srila Prabhupada in 1922, when he was just a very young man who was just recently married and had a child, met his guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Who requested him to take the message of Lord Chaitanya of pure devotional service to the whole world in the English language. And from that first meeting, he took that instruction as his life and soul and prepared his whole life, even while raising his family. But when he retired from his family life, he eventually moved here to Vrindavan. And for many years, he prepared himself by translating the first canto and writing commentaries for Srimad Bhagavatam. And 50 years from now, from this year, he departed from Vrindavan for Mumbai, Calcutta. He went to Mayapur to his Guru's Samadhi, his Guru Maharaj's Samadhi for blessings. And then he boarded the cargo ship Jaladuta and began his mission. He traveled around the world over 10 times. Srila Prabhupada left Calcutta with 40 rupees that could not be exchanged anywhere outside of India. He was staying in a ghetto area, the Bowery of New York City, with no one and nothing. And today, 50 years later, hundreds and thousands of devotees, hundreds and hundreds of temples, hundreds of millions of books published and distributed, billion plates of prasad practically distributed. And thousands of people coming at a time to visit his home in Vrindavan. What an incredible story. A little man who leaves at the age of 70 with nothing except compassion and love and wanting nothing for himself. After traveling the world and conquering the illusions in countless hearts and establishing pure devotional service as the ultimate truth. In 1977, he came back to Vrindavan. And in the temple, he established the Krishna Balaram temple, surrounded by his loving disciples from all over the world, crying in gratitude, in love, chanting the holy names, dedicating every aspect of their life to help him. In that beautiful setting, the month of Kartik, Sri Vrindavan Dham, like Sanatana Goswami, Srila Prabhupada departed from this mortal world. But he told us that wherever you're trying to follow my instructions, I am personally present with you. In separation, we can have the deepest relationship with Krishna. In separation, we can have the deepest relationship with Srila Prabhupada. All of us. Tomorrow is that one special day of the year when we really focus on sharing that love and separation for Srila Prabhupada. Here in the most holy land of Vrindavan at Govardhan Hill. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada told devotees once when he was leaving a place and he didn't know if he would ever return. He said, if you are chanting Hare Krishna and I am chanting Hare Krishna, we are always together. Nothing, no geographical boundaries, not even time itself can separate us if we are united in the holy names. So let us, in this spirit, chant together.